Hello there. In one of my previous videos I expressed the desire to make my own version of the picture of the magician, which is in the theory section of Franz Bardon's Initiation into Hermetics, published 1956. Excuse me, I've got a frog in my throat today. And yeah, like I said before, this is my copy from 1976, 1 year older than me. The original published in 1956. Obviously, you can see on the screen now, this is my version of the picture. I've already made this video once. For some reason, when you swap between pictures, it does something weird with the framing. So, you know, I've had to do it the other way around again. And someone was slamming doors as well, which really pissed me off downstairs. So hopefully that's finished. In that other video, we talked about the symbolism of the original piece. So there's no point going in too deep because we've examined that, obviously, from my own, point of view at this present time. I'll leave that on the screen just for a few more seconds because we're going to swap back and forth and that issue might happen again. But obviously the original is very colourful. Mine is not, because this is my style. Although obviously there is some colour, and that's the eyes of Broderick Wallace there, who I've swapped out for Mr. Bardon's image. Because obviously this is a personal piece, and it commemorates my journey through the book as I intend to work through it. I think it's a really nice thing to do. I'd recommend any other guys going through the book with an artistic bent to give that a shot. Right, so we'll go to the original in a moment. No, not that way. Who's that ugly? Right, there's the original, and very colourful, very, very beautiful, and just a little reminder there, and that will help highlight some of the changes. So back to my one. We've got the eternity symbol at the top. I just felt that was appropriate. In the kind of spherical glass bulb type thing, obviously we had the couple, the electric and magnetic principles there making love. I've swapped that out for something a little bit more direct, which kind of fits more with modern times. I don't think he would have got away with that in the 50s, and probably wouldn't have wanted to anyway, but I'm just saying that's my way of doing it, being a bit of a pervert. So that appealed to me. And I did talk about this before in the other video. It's this notion of creation being an act of love and lust, which is quite a mind-boggling concept, isn't it? So we've got, instead of the elephant, we've got a snake, and that would be representing my beautiful butter knife, Mother Ayahuasca, who I know and love. Instead of, well, it's still the hermaphrodite, but I've swapped that out for a ladyboy, one of those beautiful creatures whom I know and love. Right? Just had to happen, didn't it? We've got the rest of it down the bottom. Yeah, the globe in front of Bardon, I've changed that out for a kind of crystal ball. And bloody noise outside. Shut the fuck up. God's sake. I'm making a profound statement here. Nobber. Alright, shut the window. Where was I? Yeah. So I've put Kit's Coty in that crystal ball because that's like my earth. That's my grounding. That's my church. So yeah, that brings us to the most noticeable point, that the magician is swapped out for my Broderick Wallace, who is my alter ego and my companion, and I don't know, I would say he operates on many levels. We have a dialogue, and he's inside me. He's me, he's not me, he's outside of me. It's an artistic gesture and process, and yeah, that's Broderick Wallace, that's me. So on his shoulder is my familiar, Mr. Blackie. As we move right over to the right side, we've still got the tree there, my signature there in the bottom right hand corner. Above that glyph, now there's a few different versions of this, because I kind of change it here and there, and you know, anything can happen, I guess, but it's still recognizable in either of the forms. This is, to me, a symbol of the HGA, which I call the Solar Crow. Excuse me. Is there anything? Oh yeah, the kind of outpourings of the elements down the bottom. Obviously, because I can't use the colour, didn't want to. I've used the elemental symbols. So anyone familiar with the symbolism is going to see all of the same notions expressed, but obviously this is personalized to myself and my journey. And I must say, I am extremely proud of this, because there's different ways of approaching a work of art. You can just get really anal about it and get everything just right and perfect, and that's quite stressful, but it achieves something quite extraordinary. There's the other way of just letting it flow. Who cares? Yeah, just expression, and that can be beautiful and have a quickness and a movement about it, and that's hard to capture when you're doing something really slowly and getting everything right. But this is a mixture of both, because when I started this, I wasn't too bothered. I was like, yeah, let's just do this, and I just did it really quickly, like almost all of it as you see it, and that captured a certain energy and a certain roughness, which I really like, especially because it's, like a tarot card, yeah, so it kind of fits for me. And what I did is, once I'd got most of it down, I then spent a lot of time doing that background with the light at the top, and the way that it's the gradation of the shading. And then I went in, I spent a day with it, making sure that I looked over it and corrected any minor things, and just basically went over and solidified certain details and got the contrast right. Contrast is a big thing when you're working in one tone, principally. So yeah, monotone, but as is tradition for me now, because I've drawn him a few times. Broderick's eyes are always done in the electric and the magnetic, the red and the blue. Is there anything else? Is it before I turn off? Is there anything else that's worth? Because I've already covered it. I'm just having a quick look here. No, I think I've covered it all. And yeah, I will just say again before I close that this is I would say anyone that's artistic out there going through this process, it's a really nice thing to do. It kind of it heightens the charge of the intention. So okay, I'll say goodbye, and good magic. Take care.